Welcome to In the Reads, the podcast of San Jose State University's Read Magazine, California's oldest literary journal. I am your host, Ian Meadows. This episode, I'm with Hana, local artist, former SJSU alumni, and winner of her 156th issue Mary Blair Award, with her award-winning piece, Anatomical Venus. This piece displays the image of a fair maiden and dancing animals in a fairy tale-esque enchanted forest, but beyond its bright storybook colors depicts the importance of the cycle of life and death. Now, let's get into it. Here I am with the lovely Hana Locke. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So, what is your background?
Well, I was born and raised in the Santa Clara County. I've always liked drawing when I was a kid, and so when I came to decide on a college, I decided on San Jose State and got my BFA in pictorial art in 2022. And I've been around since.
Has art always been something you've been passionate about?
Yeah, it's I didn't really think about it when I was younger, but yeah, I was always like doodling in the back of my homework and drawing in my tests and all that. So yeah.
Do you have a ritual or a habit to get into the mood?
When I'm drawing, I like to listen to music or put on a video essay, or maybe go to a cafe. So I just have like white noise of people talking around me. I just like noise. I can't work in silence.
Oh, same.
Yeah,
Like, what's your do you have like a favorite band or musician you listen to?
not really. I just like put on a radio, just random stuff. I just need noise.
Hmm. Like no particular genre or anything?
Not really.
Hmm.
Just like maybe indie music.
Oh, cool. Would you say you're self-taught or did you have a type of mentor?
And bit of both. Like in college, even though I took art, they kind of left me to my own devices. But if I needed help, I could just ask and they would teach me. So yeah, and like I learned a lot online just through YouTube and Instagram, just following artists there.
Oh, is there a particular YouTuber you followed?
I like James Gurney. He's like an older guy who does a lot of watercolor and gouache tutorials, and I learned a lot about color and watercolor from there. Yeah, I use it a lot. Like most of my paintings are watercolor just because it's easier to use and not as toxic as like oil.
Oh yeah, I could hardly tell like in the Read magazine that you did it. It seemed not very faded.
Hmm.
You'd expect watercolor.
Yeah, I like to make it look like print, like old print. So a lot of like flat, bold colors is how I try to use it.
Yeah, I really like that of the part of the magazine. Like it just like bam, just captured your attention.
Hmm. Do you like my bold colors?
Oh yeah, red is my favorite color. So yeah, since I have it in the background here. So yeah.
Yeah,
How do you overcome artist block?
still working on that, but usually I either try to not do anything, just do something completely different, don't think about art, just relax, or I just do exercises and studies of just random objects or people. So I don't really have to think about conceptual things. I could just work on my skills.
Hmm. So do you like people watch sometimes just to like
Yeah, it's a little
yeah,
creepy, but go to cafes.
yeah, like I
Yeah,
can get that. Like I'm not so sure if you heard of the artist Hayao Miyazaki, but he
of
does that
course
a
I have.
lot. Oh, what would you say? Like, have you seen his movies?
Yeah, definitely see them. Saw the new one too. That was pretty good.
Oh, The Boy and the Heron. That's cool.
Hmm.
Do you have like a classic Hayao Miyazaki one you like?
I mean, Spirited Away is always my favorite. Classic.
Oh, I remember like being like terrified of like the pig scene.
It's the best part.
Oh yeah, like I was like five watching it. It was like ah. So, what materials do you most commonly use in your art process?
I mostly use ballpoint pen, like a classic Bic pen. It's my favorite. And then I use watercolor and sometimes acrylic and on occasion oil, but I don't really like oil that much. It's just a hassle.
Yeah, I can imagine it just being sticky.
It gets everywhere. It's, hard to get off because it's oil. There's also the toxic fumes.
Your work does have like a lot of supernatural body horror to it. Like, what
Hmm.
what drew that fascination?
Part of it was like I'm half Japanese, so I grew up with a lot of Japanese culture, and I really like, the weird monsters and deities and folklore and mythology, but also for like the body horror things. And like, I think it was 2013, the California Academy of Science had like this big skulls exhibition. They had like hundreds of skulls, all like animals packed in a small place. They also had a little exhibit, little terrarium of like showing how they cleaned the skulls. It was like I think it was a deer carcass, and they had beetles eating it, and that changed me. I don't know. It was like really gross, but I couldn't look away, and I really liked it, and that's what I've been drawing ever since.
Or would you say like any particular legends of Japanese culture like inspired you?
I guess Japanese Buddhism. I just like, the deities and the design of the jewelry they have on like statues.
I always kind of appreciated Buddhism in a way as well, like how chill it is, the religion.
Hmm.
So would you say you're like a full-time artist or is it your side hustle?
I want to be full time, still working towards that. Right now, it's not like I can make a living off of it, but that's the dream.
Who would you say is your biggest inspiration, living or dead?
I'm gonna go with Dead. There's Alphonse Mucha, I think, yeah, Mucha. He's like a Czech artist from the Art Nouveau era. I think you'll recognize it if you see it. It's got like bold colors, a lot of swirly designs, and I like those kind of like ornamental designs in my work.
If you weren't an artist, what would you say you would pursue?
I have no idea, honestly. I've thought about that when I was doing like college apps, and I couldn't think of anything.
Hmm. Not like
Yeah.
an archaeologist or anything to do with bones. No.
I like looking at bones. I don't want to study them.
All right. Speaking of bones, the scandal we had recently at San Jose State, the professor that had like the Native American bones, very like excited to show them apparently. She's I guess, a archaeologist, but then it just came
Hmm.
off the wrong way.
Oh, but were they legally acquired, or did she just like find them somewhere?
Apparently San Jose State like had them kind of like I guess locked up for a number of years. And
Mm, that's a
yeah,
little,
a little sketchy.
yeah, definitely. Human remains are definitely really sketchy in terms of like
Hmm.
where they came from.
I noticed in your art like your obsession kind of with heads, like decapitated heads.
I just like drawing faces, but I don't know. It's just fun to draw.
Hmm.
And I feel like there's an emotional impact to it, like with faces, it's just eye-catching. Yeah.
So what do you like about like the theme of life and death in your art? I noticed that's a pretty common pattern.
Yeah, I think it's like when I was a kid, I was like deathly afraid of skeletons. Like I would cry at the thought of them. But after that exhibit, I just realized it's kind of beautiful in a weird way. And I think most of my art is about finding the beauty in the grotesque. And that's what interests me.
Hmm. Would you say like you mentioned Buddhism, would you say you believe in like reincarnation or anything?
I'm not particularly religious, but I am kind of fascinated by those beliefs. And I don't know, it's just always something I grew up with. And I always thought those like different beliefs of what happens after you die is really interesting.
Have you gotten any opportunities ever since you won our award?
Yeah, a couple, I think. I think the biggest one is I have a solo show coming up at the Triton Museum, which is pretty cool. And I've had some group exhibitions around like downtown San Jose, one in Los Gatos. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I've won some small awards here and there, but yeah, get there eventually.
So what drew you to submitting to read?
I think I saw the ad on like the bulletin board at SJSU. I thought, why not?
So do you like do commissions? Do you like sell your art?
I'm working on that. I haven't really done commissions just because my stuff takes a long time and it's really trying to figure out how to balance making my own stuff and making other people's stuff. I'm working on making prints. I haven't made them yet. I just need to figure out how to do that too.
Oh, yeah, I
But yeah,
gotta
a lot, a
find
lot of
like a
inking.
yeah, I guess try to find a I'm not sure what the equivalent of a person that does that, like probably like a art publisher.
I mean, I probably just need to go to a website and order it from there. But yeah, I need to figure out like pricing and all that fun stuff, the fun business stuff. I do have an Instagram that I post on regularly.
Any advice for like the artists out there?
Uh, good question. Just keep making work. I know that's really cliche, but I feel like the art world or like our careers are just so diverse and just like a lot of it's up to chance. So it's really hard to make advice that applies to everybody. But just make work is really the only thing I can say.
Well, thank you very much for coming. Feel free to say your handle here.
I thought of it when I was in high school and I can't change it. So there's my handle.
All right. There's her handle there, folks. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
And thank you for listening. The bio can catch Hana's Instagram at midama_dango, along with our website readmagazine.org and our socials at Read Magazine on Twitter, X, and Instagram. Bye.